I have a tip today that's going to save you a lot of money, in the thousands even. A small coolant leak was the cause of my blown head gasket. Here's the catastrophic failure point right here on my coolant crossover. If you're working on a car that's hot, make sure you let it cool down. I'm going to pump it up. This one's at 16 psi and it's just holding. That's a lot of pumps. And as you see right here, it didn't move. I just got my Jag back from getting a new engine in because I had a blown head gasket. The blown head gasket costs a lot of money. If you go to a dealer, they want $30,000 for a new engine or $13,000 to $16,000 to repair the head gasket. That's a lot. Matter of fact, when the guy told me, we both laughed on the phone. So I'm doing this video to help you not have to experience what I just had to experience. Right here is my coolant crossover. This is the coolant crossover, and as you see, right there, this was the catastrophic failure. All the coolant was coming out right here. If I would have did a simple compression test, I mean not a compression test, a coolant test, this would have all been avoided. I'm going to show you how to do the coolant test to see if you have a leak in your system. Matter of fact, I mean, by the way, this is a coolant crossover. It goes behind the engine. Very simple to put on if you need to fix this. It's, from what I've seen, it is a common failure. You just have 4 bolts, 2 on each side, 2 clips, a hose, easy. It's not that the engine itself had an issue. This leaked all the coolant out, therefore it overheated, and when it overheated, it warped one of the heads, or at least the head gasket, and yeah. Don't do what I did. General maintenance would have saved me a lot of money. Let's get started. You're going to need this little thing. It's called a radiator cap test or a coolant pressure test. What you're going to do, you're going to attach it to your radiator or your overflow cap. You're going to pressurize the system, and if you have a leak, you'll see the needle go down. If you have a blown head gasket, there will be no pressure once you pressurize it because the blown head gasket doesn't allow pressure to stay in. The other benefit of your coolant pressure tester is if you have a leak, you can pressurize the system and then just look wherever the leak is coming. Let me show you how you hook it up, show you the test, and then I'll test my other vehicle and you'll see the difference. Whichever pressure tester you use, make sure you have a lot of different cap attachments. This particular one, I rented it from O'Reilly's, or you could just buy them. I rented it because I don't really plan on doing this too much, but you simply take your, in my case, the overflow cap, because this doesn't have a radiator, and it will give you the PSI on your radiator cap. Now on mine, it says 200 kPa. Typically it'll say PSI, but mine says kPa, so I just searched for it on the internet, and that's 21, 22 PSI. So I already done this, so I know I need this type. Simply screw it on to the overflow. You take your coolant pressure tester, put it on, and you just twist the base and it's locked into place. Then you start pumping. So you typically would just pressurize the system by pumping this up. That's a lot of pumps. And as you see right here, it didn't move. It did not move. I have a huge leak in the system, and that leak happens to be a head gasket. So under a typical situation, once you would pressurize the system, you just turn this nozzle right here, and then that would just release all the pressure, and then you can go ahead and twist this off. So as you see on your gauge here, there's multiple different ranges. So again, you would just pump it up, go to the desired PSI for your vehicle and see if it holds. Start the car up, turn the car off. If there's no change, you have no leak in the system. Here's something that I forgot to mention. If you're working on a car that's hot, make sure you let it cool down. As you see, my reservoir cap, this one says PSI at 16. So, same thing, I went and found the adapter that fits on, twist it on, twist your cap on. Once you have it on, again, I'm going to pump it up. And as you can see, this one moved up. It's at 16 PSI and it's just holding. That's what a good coolant system should look like. There's no leaks, no water's coming out, no coolant's coming out, and it's holding its pressure. So a blown head gasket won't register. Nothing's wrong with this one. So that's how you determine if you have a blown head gasket. Again, you just release the pressure and then it's safe to take off. So you see, that's the difference when you use your coolant pressurizer test. Pressurizer test? I don't think it's a pressurizer test. When you use your coolant pressure tester and you pressurize the system and it holds, you have no leaks, you have no blown head gasket. When you pressurize the system and it holds, but then there's just a leak somewhere, then you know that's your only issue. So if you suspect you have a head gasket, a blown head gasket, rent one of these, buy one of these, get one of these, test your system. As you see, it only takes a few seconds and it'll give you peace of mind if you don't have one. But even if you do have one, at least you know. General maintenance is always going to be your best friend. It's the cheapest thing to do and it keeps monster headaches off of you. If I would have done it, I could have possibly found this simple leak and saved myself a lot of money. But my pain is your gain. So do your maintenance, especially if you have a luxury car. These things cost a lot to fix. I'm not saying that they're not worth it. I'm just saying they cost a lot to fix. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Be sure to get back at you. As usual, appreciate your time. You guys have a blessed day.